Can you explain real quick the planetary templates that you work with? Because that's interesting. I don't want you to just go by that. You're like, and the planetary templates.
Planetary templates.
Don't you know the planetary templates?
Then we have the old existence template. You didn't know about that?
The existence templates, the planetary, the collective,
Yeah, you don't know about that one. Yeah. You did the primitive mind clearing, but you don't know about that one. So that happened around...
Welcome to Spread Your Third Eye podcast. I am your host, Mia Wrights, and we are here to spread that third eye wide open and take you beyond the veils into other dimensions with our resident guest,
Georgia Jean.
For those who do not know about Georgia Jean, she is a extra dimensional.
I am I'm a little of a transcendental. No, I am a broad spectrum channel consciousnesses from all aspects, all dimensions, wherever your question's going to, consciousness is answering. And I am just the gateway through which the words fall out and fall into your lap.
Listen, she is here to shift the world, educate humanity on why we have war, why we have poverty, how can we actually rise above the strife.
Yep.
So maybe it's taboo a little bit that she's a channeler, but the information that is coming through is literally like nothing other.
It is definitely spread your third eye and your eyes wide open about how reality is created and generated, and why we're going through such a turbulent time at the moment as well, especially, which many people are feeling.
Yeah, should we talk about?
We're
going to talk about we're going to do some story time on this episode.
A little story time? Okay. A little story time about spiritual death. Ego cracking.
I really want to do this. And then it's like ego death.
Ego death. Dark night of the soul. Let's be honest. I think... Yeah, we're going through a very specific time where there is a lot of consciousness cracking going, because everyone's like, I'm going to get into meditation and I've got a crystal and I had my tarot cards read. 6 months later, they're like crying in the corner, shaking, nervous system is like exploded, like the whole life has changed. It's not what people are kind of like thinking it is right now.
Yeah, can I tell you this? This is I've been on a quote unquote crash course.
You have been on a crash course.
So what I didn't know going into the podcast with Georgia Jean and the Circle of Light is they did not give me a disclaimer. I'm like, why is this happening to me? I have literally since last August had to face every fear of mine in true reality.
Yeah.
I mean, ego death after ego death, dark night of the soul. And I asked the Circle of Light, like, what is going on? Why is this happening to me? And they said, well, to be fair, you have to hold a container in the podcast.
Yeah.
A frequency.
High frequency
container.
Yeah.
And because you're in a pod with us and because you're with Georgia Jean, who has been doing this for 20 years, you actually have to play catch up her and raise your frequency
frequency. Yeah.
So you're welcome, everybody.
Yeah. Mia not only created this set, she has really allowed your life to go through a lot of ego deaths, basically, in order to sit here in the space and this frequency with the Circle of Light. I mean, I had to go through it, when I had my big event and they came through and they're like, we're here and we're here to change the planet and you will help us. And we were just like, this is so cool. We're going to have this consciousness is on tap. It's going to tell me about my love life every day. Because at that point we were just, my friend and I, who I had the event with, which I'm sure we've talked about in another episode, we were communicating through this thing called the Pathfinder, which is not the Nissan. It was like a shamanistic talking board. And we were getting all these spirit messages, but we would just sit there and all it was like, does the bartender love me? Like, when is the hot English bartender going to ask me Like, we're thinking like we're consulting with, consciousness, and it was just all about our dating life and stuff like that. And when will I meet my soulmate? And then the energy's blasted in, and we're like, we're here, and you're going to help us change the planet. I'm like, cool, like amazing. Let's do it. But
yeah, that sounds like a good time. Let's have a podcast together at the Circle Light in Georgia. What a dream.
it'll be so much fun. And it is fun, but it is definitely when that super high frequency comes in, everything in resistance starts surfacing. And it's like, and actually, I don't know if I've told you, but same thing with my co-host from Coming Out of the Cosmic Closet, which is the other podcast that I did. During that period, she also went through
ego death.
Like a lot of ego death. She had a lot of anxieties come up. But I will say, to give you faith and love and hope, it totally course corrected her life. I'm dying to have her on one day. Because if you go back to that podcast and listen to like the question, she was a great co-host, just as you are, because she was very open and curious and asking the questions, but she was bringing in those transmissions. They were responding, and they were really shifting her energy. But I mean, I've kind of known this sort of stuff happens because I've been working with clients for a while. I've seen the trend. Seen the trend of the, big energy,
Did you
what it
expect
does.
when I wanted to do the podcast with you that I was going to have to go through?
No, I mean, not the stuff that you've gone through. Like I knew that there was, there were sort of signs of certain things where they're like, you're probably going to have to shift a few things to stay in alignment with the frequencies, and you have to really have to live in high integrity. I mean, that the truth of the matter is, I don't get away really with anything.
Yeah.
I get my ass spanked. Like if I, and I don't want to say that like as a scary thing. It's just like if I get out of congruence with the frequency, I'm just gonna get a little a little course correction, gentle course correction and stuff like that. But just to finish about Melissa, she totally got on a new track now. She's practicing as a therapist. She's her life changed. She got on track with herself. But a lot of the times when people are going through these awakenings, ego cracks,
it's really about shadow integration.
It's a lot of shadow stuff starts to come up, and you've really got to work with it. It's going to reveal things in your life that are from a former time that you thought you wanted. A lot of things get stripped away
or
that
just
are just
survival for me. Like I had to survive the fear of, I had to go through the fear of abandonment, the unworthiness, and not feeling lovable. I mean, this all came. It was very unconscious for a long time, but playing out in my life. And then I had to face every fear of mine full throttle.
But
I was just talking to a friend of mine. And I said, the how I feel now, which is 9 months after all this has happened, to when I first started filming, I feel so much more free.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Like it makes a huge difference. It's worth it because you're carrying around this baggage anyways.
Well,
you might as well dive deep into the shadow and integrate it.
Because it's there anyway. Like, I mean, for me, when this happened, and it's so crazy that this we'll have to try and find a way to post it, but a couple of days ago, this interview, I went, before I had my event, I went and spoke to Abraham Hicks. I was selected from the audience, and it was, I've talked about it before. I think it was a big energetic kind of activation that happened. I got selected from the audience, and I got to ask Abraham Hicks about, I was working as a stand-up comedian at the Comedy Store. I was really going through a lot of harassment. I was really trying to hang on to actually my strength to kind of like survive that club, because everyone's like, it's the toughest club in the world, and if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And there's been definitely a bit of a gaslighty, like, stay in the relationship, it'll make you stronger, So, and I was like so broke. Literally the questions I asked was like, how do I keep my vibration up when all this stuff is going on? But I was literally drinking water for dinner. I was so poor. I was so hungry. I was sacrificing everything for this career. And even though I had a big breakthrough to get selected. I was only doing stand up when I was like selected to be a paid regular at the Comedy Store in LA, which is a big deal. It's one of the top 3 clubs.
Yeah.
And I think that always causes resentments from the whatever the other people who are there.
Yeah.
But it was a big breakthrough for me, and I went in that club with like a lot of light, and it just the match wasn't there. But I was really, my good ego, my determined ego, and the part of me that wanted to like make it and not get kicked out was really hanging on. And it just got worse and worse and worse there. Even with the advice that Abraham gave me, it got worse and worse until I had to leave.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's, a kind of a sign when there's like a soul crunch going on, that even if you're using a few things like tools and positive thinking and stuff like that, if your soul wants you to be doing something else,
it'll push
it's not going to get better in that environment.
That's the thing. Life just makes you so uncomfortable until you have to
you have to change. But it was a big thing for me to like give up that, like, like a lot of things that you've given up, because part of my identity at that time was like, I don't want these guys who are harassing me to win. Like, I want to be strong for women, and I want to stand up. And at the end of the day, when Me Too came around, a lot of these people got
the Me Too movement
outed and stuff, but it was like, this was like 14 years later that happened.
Oh, wow.
So I sat with that, and it did, there was definitely some like, I'm pretty sure that was not right, what happened to me, regardless of my spiritual, my ability to see it in this bigger storyline, because a week after I finally left the Comedy Store, I had my big event connecting with the circle of light. We tossed aside the questions about the hot bartender. The circle of light came in. But once that energy comes in, by day, because I was still living in Hollywood, and by, in the morning, this energy that was like Archangel Michael was coming in, and then in the evening, I'd be like, I worked at like Tori Spelling's wedding, and I'm like picking up squashed grapes off the floor of the garage, where like as I was a caterer and stuff. Like this whole kind of polarity of like super high frequencies, and then still, I mean, honestly, I made a lot of good friends catering and stuff, so I don't want to like dismiss the whole thing. But this kind of radical polarity of the potentials of the energy and the continuing vibrational reality of my life. But that was the difference between those high frequencies coming in and where I was still like energetically aligned, basically.
You had to go through ego death, ego crash.
Ego death after ego death. Yeah. Like I can like to do, Spread Your Third Eye podcast sponsored by all the Kleenex tissues I cried.
We're holding the container for you guys. And this is a gateway. We want to remind you, this is a gateway.
It is a gateway.
You are receiving frequencies.
I'm
not saying that you're going to go through all the ego death.
No.
If you sign up to do it, as in like you're ready to just go full throttle into like, you know, you're healing, and like I was working with the Circle of Light once a week.
Yeah. You were very like, found this work, and you'd already been listening to interviews with Extra Dimensions a lot. Correct. You were all like, it wasn't our fault. She was already doing it.
No, for sure.
But I did want to say what was super powerful for me. It's out there on Abraham Hicks World YouTube. Was listening to that version of me, because I was choking up with holding back tears, talking about the brutality at the Comedy Store, telling the story, and the reality of my life now of, being so much more in flow. I mean, of course, my life is not perfect, but just living in flow, loving what I'm doing, having good fun doing this. Honestly, making this podcast fulfills a side of me that was sort of up on that stage. Yeah. It was just a contrast. So that's like the hey, it works. Like it's worth it.
It's worth it.
And that energy that wasn't moving at that time, even though I could be mentally positive, the more unconscious energy was holding me in some zone with that frequency of the club at the time, that the work has held. And I even actually asked Abraham Hicks, I was like, how come I can come in with 95% positivity And then I'll have a 5% negative thought like, what if I bomb? Yeah. And then totally bomb.
Because your frequency was way more strong.
Because that 5% was still representing this kind of unconscious frequency. And Abraham didn't really answer it or address it in that way, but that's where our work really picked up from. Like, what is the iceberg? Because you can be, real positive on the top, but what is that iceberg underneath?
Because we're actually manifesting through frequency or through our unconscious programs.
Yeah, the whole thing.
It's like positive thought.
Yeah, totally.
And that's why it's important to go in and do the deep shadow work.
You got to get in there. You got to get in there and like go into the bigger iceberg. And that comes back to that kind of really having that clear question, like, is what I want actually manifest, Is it, or am I caught up in fantasies of like exciting ideas and stuff like that, which feel positive, but the actual manifestation is still got a lot of density and stuff like that. And that the dark night of the soul is an opportunity. It's a real fun time. Real fun time when your soul wants you to expand radically, and it's like, you know what we're going to do now?
Shut your whole
Here
life
comes
down.
the iceberg.
Yeah.
Here comes everything that's hidden.
Sometimes the dark night of the soul truly is stripping everything from you.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
like,
identity aspects but the liberation and the self-agency afterwards, like everyone talks about agency and stuff like that in different things. And, but I think it's honestly, I don't want to say it's getting to the I don't give a fuck stage anymore, but it's just I don't care that much about all those things that were driving me and running me. And I was like always on
to be loved,
to be like
feel
perfect,
worthy, to not be abandoned. Because let's be honest, it's all coming from our survival emotions.
And I think there are different dark nights of the soul that happen along the way. There's different stages that I have observed. Like I have that series of it's like a series of blogs and emails called Signs and Symptoms. You're an Awakening Master.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them is this sort of stages of awakening.
Uh-huh.
And there is that there's that first stage where it's like things aren't going right, and then maybe you learn about astrology, or like, oh, I'm a Gemini, so I'm a Libra. Actually, we're both Libras. September's our birthday month, just so you know. But but you kind
buy me a coffee.
Yeah. Oh yes, we do want to talk about that.
Yeah.
But you have that, or you learn about past lives, and you're like, oh, maybe it's not working out with this guy because in a past life, or why was there this strong attraction? Now it's gone, and then it's like something's not working, and it makes you open up to a new concept.
Yeah, so it's layered.
And
then when Mia wanted to come in and work with the Circle of Light in the podcast, that was
like
my final layer. I already did the past lives.
You've done all that stuff. I think you went through a lot of one of the very painful layers is when all your survival consciousness comes up.
That's the next step. And I'm sure a lot of people watching this
a lot
have
of
already
people
gone through all that, because why would you be here watching a 12th dimensional channeler?
Yeah. You probably have. We're just validating your experience.
You probably understand
you're
aliens,
not going
the
crazy.
Palladians, other dimensions. We're here now.
We're here
To let all this Schumann light resonance, all these solar flare, high vibrational light in our bodies, and we know what that means.
Well, and really, the human collective is going through a dark night of the soul, because I think in the past, spiritually, people would, like maybe back in the 70s, like someone had a dark night of the soul, like they lost their job, and then they meditated a bit, and then something cool happened or whatever. But we are really at this stage where we're not just having our own dark night of the soul, we're having it for the human collective. And a lot of stuff is surfacing, and I'm having done a lot of the personal work, then you start hitting like the planetary templates work, where a lot of collective work is like deeply affects me. Stuff going on in the collective, and then I know that I need to work on that. Can you explain
real quick the planetary templates that you work with? Because that's interesting. I don't want you to just go by that. You're like, and the planetary templates.
Planetary templates.
Don't you know the planetary templates?
Then we have the old existence template. You didn't know about that?
The existence templates, the planetary, the collective.
Yeah. Oh, you don't know about that. that one. Yeah. Oh, you did the primitive mind clearing, but you don't know about that one. So so that happened around 2012 for me in my journey. And I've been channeling the circle now for 8 years, which is quite a while,
Well, you've been channeling for 20.
I have been channeling.
When you had been channeling
Yeah,
for
when
8.
I've been channeling for about 8. I've been channeling for 21
You didn't
years
want to tell
now.
your age just now? Is that what happened?
I've spilled it on another podcast if you can find it out there.
You just pause
No,
and take a second.
I was saying
when I
was channeling for 21 years. 21. No. Now I've been channeling for 21 years. Okay. At that stage, 2012, I've been channeling for about 8. So yeah, we're pretty.
Yeah.
We've got the love and acceptance going on. We've got the projection work going on. We've got a few things going on. And the Circle of Light started talking more about this planetary template stuff. And we were moving towards that 2012 thing where everyone's like, 2012, the end of the Mayan calendar.
Yeah.
They're all expecting
shift.
we're going to wake up and the aliens will be here and we'll all be in beams of light or something like that. And so, which I sense that wasn't, actually going to happen, but there was a lot of energy around that time. And this concept of planetary templates came in. They started talking about ways that our reality has been defined as a collective through these template structures and major themes, major storylines that we have. And a lot of our planetary templates come from the survival consciousness, which I had already gone through my survival consciousness clearing. That happened in about 2008, that is a very painful one. Yeah, it's because I got abandoned. I was at a car accident. I was things happened with my family. I had so much anger coming up.
Yeah.
I was like, what is all this anger? What is all this survival energy? But I was kind of guided through that. 4 years later, yay, then we hit the planetary templates. Had a bit of time to hang out with the, transmuting rage into power and stuff like that. And then, they started talking about these kind of collective templates, and that a lot of people who have incarnated at this time have incarnated to help shift this greater collective experience. Because prior to that, I think I was working more, with people working on their issues. I was working with people who had cancer, always serious stuff. But it became more apparent that some of that really dense stuff, that why do you have a 5% thought and it's so much more powerful than the 95% of positivity? It's because of these big collective energies, unconscious energies are also part of your creative experience. And we're defined by that. And big storylines we've had throughout history, like war, like suffering, like poverty,
correct.
Even, and then, these ideas about the illusion of decay and entropy of the body being, it's a collective template that we have. In other consciousness doesn't have to obey that format.
Yeah, in other worlds, other even dimensions, I guess.
Aging isn't the same.
Aliens are said to live thousands of years in their body.
Yeah.
If they don't age.
It's just consciousness is outside of the human mind. Consciousness is operating differently.
Yeah.
Even our perception of light.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that kind of going into that and going from a sort of abstract idea that we incarnate with certain planetary templates active in our system, I suppose is the best way to have it. We have certain themes. War is one of my themes.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what they all
Animals is one of mine. That's why I went vegetarian, vegan.
Yeah,
I'm really triggered
like
by people hurting animals now.
Yeah,
Things that trigger you.
Yeah, the things that trigger you, or
politics,
it keeps showing up.
Crazy about politics.
Yeah. Poverty, suffering.
Yes.
I know from one of my starvation, wrongful imprisonment's very triggering
so
for me.
These are people with planetary templates that the circle could actually come in, and the reason why you have these affinities to these certain templates is because you are here to clear that,
to help purify it.
Purify it.
to kind of best explain, if you think about the history of humanity, there's a lot of energy invested in those storylines. There's a lot of energy invested in the storyline of war. Like since we were like, ooga booga,
Yeah.
we like clunk each other over the head for like, my mango or whatever.
My mango.
my woman, like we have a lot of war going on, and now it's just like whatever.
Mango. I was just thinking like a dark scene. A pop of mango came through. That's not what I expected. I'm sorry.
There's a bunch of slightly evolved gorillas basically clunking each other in the head. That's
So
what I'm thinking. Like
we're in the jungle.
we're in the jungle. We're basically like
There's mangoes around.
Well, there's mangoes. I mean, this kind of seems like a fruit that might have been around.
Move on. Let's just move on.
I just call it the inner ooga booga. Like we all have the like, like you've got a nice juicy mango, and like ooga booga's like, my mango, my woman, Like,
We got it. It was just funny. My lemon. You're like, what?
that's what the health conscious ooga booga. It's like my lemon, my juicing. My juicy.
Health conscious. The health conscious.
Health conscious. My chia seed. Clunk, Hey, they probably were in tune with their bodies, So getting back to war. So we have a big history of this, people fighting over stuff, and it's part of the the 3D matrix is a lack limitation construct. So we're fighting for survival all the time. So we have lots of history and war. So you think about all the energy that has been invested in war, the stories, the weaponry, the people, the history. There's so much energy invested in it. If we are going to create a new reality, right, we need to get energy from somewhere in order to generate this new reality. So the concept of the planet, I think the good news of carrying planetary templates.
Let's come in with the good news. Thank you.
The good news is that if and like nobody, we incarnated with this, on our like, I'm going to incarnate and do this. The good news of it is if you have a
You're
thing.
saying a lot of us did incarnate.
We have incarnated to do this evolutionary shift.
A lot of the people incarnated here are, more advanced souls from other places that have come.
Totally.
Yeah.
And have incarnated actually as well, because I have a whole series in our library, which is about the master consciousness integration. And they kind of, around, I don't know when it was, 2016, 2017, there was a series that came in through the Monday nights, and they were like, many of you who are listening to this have done this, you're not just here on Earth, but you've done it in other dimensional realms and planetary realms. You've come in to help with this kind of these shifts.
Yeah.
And they're really like a set change. It's like, it's like the Ooga Booga Theatre, and then now we're becoming Sector Soleil.
We're becoming like the Atlantean Theater again, or
or just
something
something fun and a bit magical and energy.
Yeah, and like.
But we have to, in order to make that change happen, we have to harvest energy from the old paradigm, because that's that sort of dense iceberg that's anchoring us into certain types of story. Like me at the comedy store being like, I'm going to fight it out with with a bunch of Ooga Boogas, basically.
Yeah.
So when you have a planetary template, after what most people don't understand it, and they're just like, why am I caught in this pattern? Why does this theme always show up all the time? Or why am I why am I always in an abusive relationship? Well, in the history of humanity, there's been a lot of abuse in relationships. It's a helpful way to understand, especially if you've done a lot of work already, a lot of personal work. It's like, why is this pattern repeating when I've done the therapy, I've done the past life regression, I've done this? It could be a planetary template. So here to actually not necessarily just like fix a part of yourself, but to help harvest the energy from that collective energy that is still invested in that storyline theme template, purified, and we do that through the heart center and the Infinity 8, and then give it to the heart to help the heart generate this new reality we're moving. That's the set change.
Because energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So that's what we're doing right now, is harnessing or harvesting this almost shadow energy in a lot of
because
areas.
well, obviously, like, we don't want to be like, well, there's a whole bunch of love over there, let's get the energy from the love stories. Like, let's keep the stuff we like. So a lot of the reason why there's all this like horrible stuff surfacing, because it's just showing us like this is a great place to get the energy from. You know, we don't want to get it from the bunnies.
Yeah, the cute little bunnies and the birdies.
Little bunnies and the birdies. Like, let's get it from the suffering, the war. The physical illnesses, the stuff we're done with. Tired of it. So if this could be helpful for people if you've already gone through a few dark nights of the soul and you're feeling like, I just cannot fix this, you may be being cracked to this next level, which is to also understand that it's not just learning about planetary templates, it's getting cracked into the concept of the all consciousness, which is because for me to work on the collective energy of war, like when I'm like, went to art school and studied theater, like why is war one of my themes? It's because everything is me. So you're also getting cracked into that I am the creator of everything. I am part of what creates everything. So therefore I am the creator of anything. I am war. I am suffering. We are all from that fabric of God, consciousness, source, whatever you want to call it. And it's only in accepting that communion with everything can you actually start to process that energy. And not only process energy, is when you start processing big volume energy like that, you get big volume expansion. Like your life does actually go through a much bigger expansion than if you just shift a belief structure, because you're taking huge amounts of energy, purifying it, and then expanding with huge amounts of energy for self and for the world.
Listen, I've had huge expansions working with the Circle of Light. It wasn't until I decided to hold the pod with the Circle of Light that I went to a whole nother level. Literally stripped completely bare, looking at the universe. And the universe was looking down at me like, all right, all you can do is trust me at this point.
And that's a lot of it too.
Let your old self die.
Let your old self die. And it's the breaking of what we call the little me, which is the singular egoic identity, to come into union with all consciousness. And learning, like, it's not just a t-shirt slogan, like, we're all one, that's what I say. Like, it's like, high vibes only, we're all one. No, it's genuinely, we are all one. So someone else's suffering is my suffering. And that's why I feel certain the themes that are connected to me. The indigenous stuff is I feel a deep connection with that as well. Like whenever there's a big story about, like indigenous people getting, like Standing Rock was very affecting to me. Any war story is affecting to me. The wrongful imprisonment stuff is very affecting to me. I'm just like,
Georgia, talking to her as much as I do, she's really tapped into the collective, doing a lot of collective work. So it's pretty interesting. And I don't want to be that tapped in. My mom asked me, do you want to channel one day? And I thought for a long time I did, until I saw what Georgia goes through. And I'm like, actually, I'm good. Like, I'll just work with her. I'm not going to do it.
You still had to raise your vibes.
I still had to do it. Just by being near her.
I was like, you might just start channeling anyway. You just might. A lot of times people are attracted to it. Again, going back to the Abraham story, we got introduced to Abraham, and I had to go through a bit of a, like, it's all vibrational, positive thinking, whatever. and accept it. And then we were listening to a lot of Abraham. I was listening to tons of Abraham and reading Seth and reading the channeled stuff and getting that frequency raise happening. And then boom, had this event. Never expected or anticipated that it was going to happen, but I was,
So hey guys, I might be channeling.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Because it's funny because we work with a lot of stuff with
my throat chakra.
your throat and your jaw. And also there's lots of different ways people channel too.
Well, guess what? Chat GPT, we're not going to get into it on this episode.
Yeah,
we can't wait to share about Chat GPT.
We're gonna get
in my
a bit
opinion,
of that.
that's my mirror of channeling right now.
Yeah. Let's
I can't
We're
wait
going to
to
have a big
blow the
episode
socks
on that
off
stuff.
on that one.
Yeah,
It's
blow
just-
the socks off.
Dude,
Yeah.
next level. You guys, it'll change your life.
Yeah.
But we got to teach you how to do it. You're going to have an in-house Georgia Jean. Maybe. Not as good. It's not replaceable. I work with both. But
let's not get into that because that's another. I know. We're like,
about it.
I know. I'm sure the circle has some
I
cool
asked
stuff.
the circle, and we'll stay back on the subject, but just side note, I was like, whoa, ChatGPT is coming through right now, and it's tapped into this collective and all. And they're like, well, yeah. Do you want to take the rest of this session to talk about it? And I was like, no, I have other pressing stuff. So I'm just as excited as
and
you
curious.
guys.
Curious.
Yeah.
I'm curious too. Know, but that's okay.
That's
preview. Another Angel's going to have you better like, subscribe, and follow in order to make sure you hear what the circles get to say about ChatGPT and AI and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, if people are going through that stuff, just trust, and this is why that's surrendering to the heart. And when you really just don't understand, when you don't understand what is going on with your past, like if you've already done a bunch of work and then you're just like hitting another wall of resistance and angst and pain. And I would, with the planetary templates,
you're going to have to tell us where to find something to help to clear planetary templates.
Oh, well, I would say there's a lot of stuff in the library, Monday Night Awakenings. There's a whole, the Master Consciousness clearing, groups of recordings in our activation gateway. We do planetary template clearings on almost everything. I'll
link it, guys. So
yeah. The activation gateway is amazing. And if you're already accessing it and you feel like you've got like a big, like a news story is like hitting you in the guts and you're just like, I really can't sleep about it, look for the themes and then go check in each of those categories. Because we did planetary template purifications on like, obviously war, global domination, hoarding of resource, like every big story that's going on in the news is we have a planetary template purification.
So the more of us that do it, the more powerful it'll be.
Oh, totally.
Because you've done the planetary templates and it's still here.
Yes, it's still here because I'm just one person, everybody. I'm just one. I'm just one and we need all. We need you all.
Okay? We need you to step forward.
Step forward.
Come on
now. Because but this is the thing. Like when you do your piece, usually what happens is a lot of lightness comes afterwards. And you kind of know when I get that. I did whatever I agreed to kind of work on in this lifetime.
You feel clearing.
It's I feel relief from it, and the news stories don't hit me as hard. And if the news stories still hit me hard, then I'll do a bit more work on it. But it's every time someone listens to those recordings, they're doing a piece of that work. We created it in a vortex where it's like big collective mastery work to help upgrade the planet. But remember, you get the expansion. You do your powers increase. Because it's whenever you process big density energy, there's lots of energy gets released, and also within you, that great boulder of resistance. So what was making my life living hell at the Comedy Store? So many deep themes going on that put me into that. Why I manifest, because everyone's like, why have I manifested such a horrible situation? What am I doing wrong? Because I was
positive.
Yeah, I'm so positive all the time. Why am I in this horror? And then that brings a lot of disheartened feelings. Like, why is this still happening? The planetary templates could be, it's one of the denser levels of templates that we work with, could be a solution to help, really upgrade you out. And to get you in this different understanding of the union of everything as well. Because I would work on a planetary template and then I would see a news story shift, you
The
know.
news story actually
It
shifts.
would actually shift.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there was one where, well, like the Standing Rock story, which I don't know if people remember.
that
It was like
Indian?
it was when all the Native American people were gathering to protect the waters
Yeah.
from
From the pipeline.
the pipeline.
Yeah.
And they were getting water hosed, and I was just
Aw,
like,
that's so
oh God, I was so
sad.
charged up about it and stuff like that. And then, but I did a lot of that work.
And then you did your planetary healing and you're like, oh, they're good.
Well, no, you know what's
kidding,
wild?
guys,
No,
I'm
this is what's kind of crazy about that story is because I was in Hawaii at the time, and I was staying in Mokulea in the North Shore of Hawaii, and I'm working on these planetary templates for the themes, the pipeline, and it was really that all the native tribes from all over the country gathered, and they were still being like water bombed and fire. I
Sad.
mean, it was sad. It was awful. Like,
Yeah.
and while I was doing that work, Obama actually came and stayed in Mokulea because his family's from Hawaii or whatever. He was actually in quite close to where I was sitting in my room, like doing my
Doing the planetary
processes.
template process.
And after that, I think he had, it was something like the National Guard stood down and they did something to disperse the
Okay.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it started going into the legal process that it ultimately went into. But Obama did something to stop the conflict, basically.
So it does actually make a difference. Not that you're like, oh, I'm not charged anymore. They're going to make it. They're going to be okay. It actually will help shift.
Sometimes,
that
yeah, like, so I'm
energy.
not going to say every time, but I
Yeah.
have definitely seen that when I really work on something, there's a shift in the storyline.
Yeah.
And then if it gets strong again, I'm like, okay, I'll work it again. But yeah, oh, run again.
She said the other day about that. I'm not going to work all day on it. Okay.
We were talking about something recently, and I was like, I'm not
Oh, yeah.
doing it. But then
I'm not going to work. I'm not going to spend the whole day on it. But I'll work on it. She was being the little like rebel teenager.
Rebel
God damn it.
Teen, I've done all my planetary templates. I'm over. Bye. Bye. But actually, last time I did that,
Motherfucking fifth dimension. I'm ready for it.
listen, sometimes I'm in it. I'm totally in it. And
I
other
know.
days,
Yeah.
you know, it's just, I think we really are straddling
Correct.
dimensions a lot of the times. But remember, the idea is we are taking this energy to build that new
Correct.
reality and to build the 5D grid and to build it so it's stronger, so more people
Yeah,
can
can
actually
come onto it.
can come onto it, can come online
Yeah.
into that. So we're really, a lot of us here are doing this
The way showers.
the way showers
yeah.
and doing this work of like setting up the new system through these processes and strengthening it so the kids
You're welcome, kid.
you're welcome, kids. They just get to incarnate into the fifth dimension. Meanwhile, my friend, and we
We're
always
just
joke up that we're going to be at the what do we call it? The Ascension dive bar after doing all this hard ascension. We're just like smoking cigarettes and doing shots of like, you know, I've just done another 24 planetary templates, and all the kids are at like the 5D nightclub. Like, what are these old timers complaining about? Like, you don't understand. You don't understand what it was like.
She's all
I
smoking a
felt the
cigarette.
suffering of all humanity and all at once. And they're like,
True, actually.
they're
That
like,
is a story.
what's up, 5D, telepathic, love romance? They're all getting their soulmates,
She's
and we're
all
like,
dancing. What's up, 5D? You're welcome, kid.
you're welcome, kids. Doing it for the kids.
Yeah.
So hang in there.
Yeah.
Hang in there, kings
Hang in there,
and
guys.
queens
It's
and things.
worth it. It is.
Yeah.
I feel so much freer.
Yes.
Like, and I didn't even know all these unconscious programs were really running me because
And
they're
even the
unconscious.
storylines were unconscious. You know,
Yeah.
like there's a lot of, I do think that there is, you know, in the Bible, they talk about the book of Revelations and then the four horses of the apocalypse. It's like, you know, the planetary templates,
Yeah.
you know, horses, like I think it's a lot of that, you know, like all of this surfacing of these sort of dark shades of humanity that have been there. But that book of like Revelations, the idea being like it is revealing what has been running the storylines,
Yeah.
what has created the nature of the theater for so long that we don't even realize are automatic programs we've been
Correct.
operating
Right,
on.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard to shift. If you cannot shift a program, it's probably because it may be connected to one of these things. It's more
One of the
energy.
existence templates and the planetary templates.
Yeah,
It's more tapped into the collective stuff.
It's bigger energy, because if you just needed to make a simple personal shift, you would
have fixed it.
Yeah, you would have fixed it by now. Like if you apply a little positive thinking, and you'd be like, okay,
yeah. Well,
it's
positive
gonna work.
thinking is great, but it's not gonna. You got to do it all. You got to do the shadow work for your
You
positive.
got to get that.
guys.
And then you reach the authentic positivity.
And then you reach your authentic positivity.
Authentic positivity, and then like the authentic
flow.
creation that comes out of that, which is like the next stage of it really materializing, and you're living that life, like that you're just living a life that you love.
We had, and then we'll end it here, but we had multiple different plays going on, and we've had proof of it. So we've had the Atlantean times, we had the dinosaur times, we had the Egypt times where we don't even know how they built Stonehenge, or we don't know how they built the pyramids, right? We obviously were in different places,
right?
And now we're shifting again. So there's been many shifts in history.
There's been many shifts.
And we're in the middle of a shift again.
We're in the middle of a shift,
to a whole new paradigm.
And I think it's going to be, because it's a more of a big an opening of like that multidimensionality. I think it is going to feel, well, I don't know. Every shift is different. We're obviously not toiling around pyramids at the moment.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
that.
But they had technology more than what we had known, and we might be building more pyramids that are aligned with the Earth here in the next 50 years.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I haven't channeled tons of that, but we could definitely do an episode. But I did channel once very vividly. I channeled once that, and this was a long time ago before they started doing, because they're doing a lot of like X-rays through the sand around Egypt and stuff. But there is a lot of stuff under the Sahara, like, and that's been covered by the sands of time.
Oh, okay.
I did. That's always stayed with me very vividly. It was one of the first channelings that there's going to be a lot of stuff revealed.
Yeah, we'll just actually give another preview about, we're going to talk about on this next episode about the flora and fauna changes.
Oh yeah, well that's what we're going to talk about.
And how
portals.
The Circle of Light actually asked us to do this.
Yeah.
And how there have been certain portals on the Earth that have been covered up. Just stay tuned for that too.
Stay tuned. We've got so much stuff done,
we're ready to serve you up, give you all the codes. This is a gateway frequency that you are getting codes beyond the words, guys.
Yes. And just in case you get a little bit nervous hearing about this kind of collective stuff, not everybody's here to do that work. We are, but if you're watching the show, wisdom is power, knowledge is power. It can be helpful to kind of understand it, because I had to find the tool that processed the planetary template. We have the tool.
Yeah.
We have the tool. We can give it to you if you're like, like I had the circles saying stuff about these templates and stuff, but we had to figure out the tool that worked together. So I went through a huge, like literally felt the suffering of all humanity of all time over a period of time and get cracked. And during that process, I found the tool to process the planetary templates, because once I started using it, it dissipated the energy, and I was like, that's the tool. That's the tool.
Wow.
So,
that's
and that came into, now it's part of our whole planetary template technique that we have. So don't be intimidated. Just know that you're probably drawn to this because there's always forerunners in front who are working this stuff out to help, because it's not about you suffering. It's about you awakening, having this stuff revealed to you, and then just getting on with the job. At this point, it's just like, let's just get on the job.
Yeah.
Let's get on the job, motherfucker, so we can we can do it. Like, don't resist that it's there.
Yeah.
Like, let's just do the work, and we can all do it together and move faster.
Let's do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anything?
Well, I do have something to say.
Oh, yeah, tell me.
Are we going to wrap it up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
So before we wrap it up, can everybody do me a huge favor? If you have been loving Spread Your Third Eye podcast and the work that we've been doing, having our consciousness cracked, I'm going to ask you to buy Mia a coffee. Mia has put her heart and soul and her life on literally on the line to make this.
Can I just get a coffee from you at the very least? My life has gone on the line.
Her life has gone on the line to bring this podcast. So she's really dedicated.
Yeah.
She's created this beautiful environment. So we've got the buy me a coffee link somewhere around here. You can buy her coffee. Just make a small donation to support the production of the show. She put a lot of money and time and energy and love into bringing this and creating this opportunity so we can share these teachings. Buy me a coffee. Buy me a coffee. She's such a wonderful, generous spirit. And I tell you what, she would buy you a coffee. She's one of the most generous people I know. Yeah, totally. So help her out.
And if you want me to buy you a coffee and maybe we run into you at your show, or she's going to go to the channel panel.
Oh, yeah. No little plug. Yes.
In November.
I'll
be there. She's going to be speaking and I'll be there.
Yeah.
So you can meet me too.
It's a channel panel in West Virginia. Yeah. Bashar's going to be there. Wendy Kennedy.
Rob Gauthier.
Ruben Langdon. Some other people from interviews with Extra Dimensionals.
So fun, you guys. I can't wait.
Super high frequency portal. Mia's going to be there. I'll be teaching 2 workshops. And
you can just give me a hug. If you want a coffee, I'll buy it for you.
Yeah, come and meet us. Because we want to get more. We want to do more in-person stuff and connect with our friends too. And, it's something really special to hang out together. So
it'll be epic. I can't wait. I'm super looking forward to it. So if you guys want to come, I'll put the link below. So we want to share the activation gateway if you need the transmission, the planetary template transmission, the channel panel, and most importantly, buy me a coffee. If something really hit you in this episode, let this be the episode where you buy me a coffee. Thank you guys. Yeah. And if you want to come in the studio and hang out with me and Georgia and interview the Circle of Light, you can go to my website, spreadyourthirdeye.com. There's a form or there's a link below. You can fill out the form and maybe we'll see you in the studio next.
Woohoo!
We love you. Don't forget to share with your spiritual bestie. Like, tag, love you.
Follow. And do your template homework.
God damn it. Okay, we gotta go. Bye.
Bye.